my name is Voya and welcome to my deep guide, and in today's video we are checking out the iFlytek AINote 2. So this thing is uber thin, uber light, and actually uber powerful. Seemingly came out of nowhere. It has been kindly sent to me by iFlytek this time. Some of you may remember that I have reviewed or done the first impressions and never got around to doing the full-on review of the iFlytek Note Air 2. That's their 8.2-inch device. I purchased that device for myself to review it because I had some misgivings about iFlytek's needs and wants and kind of demands that they were placing for making a video. This time around it was a very different story. There was no insisting of any kind. I have full-on, freedom and reign and things like that. Things that I require if I'm going to feature and review a device on my deep guide. Let's check out the AINote 2, the 10.65-inch 300 ppi e-ink monochromatic non-front lit AI-enabled, humongous quotation marks there, ePaper device. All right, so here is the brand new iFlytek AINote, and let's get one thing right out of the get-go. This is almost exactly the same type of housing, but better than AIPaper. Don't believe me? Here's the prototype of AIPaper that I have from before. The differences are minuscule, if you can even find them. So first of all, same width, same height, except that for me at least, it looks like AINote 2 is thinner, and it actually has a little bit of a difference here as far as the chamfering of the edges. It's a little bit nicer than the AIPaper. The second thing that I notice is the difference in coloration, and AINote 2 looks more neutral, more grayscale, less yellowish than AIPaper does, and a little bit brighter. You can see that, the upper edge of the screen ends up in the exact same place, and the lower edge of the screen is here, and it matches perfectly. We do have this other edge here, but effectively we have the exact same kind of area here for capacitive buttons, except that AIPaper had 3 of them here. This one still has 3 of them, it just doesn't have an icon in here, but you do still have functionality there. When you flip them back, you can see some more improvements with the AINote, where we have pogo pins here, and more importantly, we have anti-skid feet, which is very nice. However, this feels a lot lighter than the AIPaper, so I'm gonna weigh them. And to me, I don't know if it's just the impression of the weight, but this feels also ridiculously thin, and even thinner than the AIPaper. So let's do those measurements first and see what we're talking about here. And let's start with the AIPaper first. At 364 grams without the pen, and AINote 2, 297 grams. So under 300 grams, for a 10.3-inch device. No wonder it felt super light. It's because it is. I don't know of any other under 300 gram device that's 10.3. Let's check out Supernote Manta. That's the only one that comes to mind. Nah, I can already feel it. This is 384 grams. Almost 100 grams lighter than the Supernote Manta. This is what Remarkable 3 should have been, and instead we do have an, iFlytek AINote 2, but this feels incredible, absolutely incredible in the hand. Very, very important difference. Now, let's check out the thinness as well, because I think it might be the thinnest tablet yet. Zeroed out calipers. So the lowest that I can get with this one is while pressing. So I have to kind of press. It's 4.65, let's say. So 4.65. And on this guy, the thinnest when I press without releasing, 4.36. with it coming out. So this is lighter and thinner than any other device. This really feels very, very different in your hand. Quite something. The similarities with the AIPaper do not stop with the device itself, because the pen is also not identical, but very similar. So the white one is the one that comes with the AIPaper, the black one is the one that comes with the AINote. Smaller button than on the AIPaper, and if you focus on the variant tips and the nibs, you can see that they are different, and that the pen for the AIPaper had this kind of ring protruding here, while this one doesn't, and it's using nibs of this type. So the design, while derivative, absolutely derivative of an AIPaper, it is an improvement on all fronts, it being thinner, lighter, brighter, and yeah, more efficient as far as, you know, the pen grip and the magnetic holding, because yes, you can lift the entire device pretty comfortably via the pen alone. I cannot get over the tactile feel and what this does to my brain when I'm holding something like this that's this light and this thin. It feels very different. This being a first look, I'm simply gonna go through a couple of documents as standard and do a couple of notes, and that's it. However, that by no means covers all of the functionalities that you have with the AINote, because it has a lot of additional functionalities that you normally have on this platform. The caveat is that this is one of the most locked down environments that you have if you don't want to use an account. So basically, if you want to use an AINote device, you have to use their account, and you have to allow your data to go through their servers. And that's something that you're either going to be okay with or not. But that is a prerequisite for getting the maximum out of this environment and this tablet. Otherwise, you're going to be running into severe limitations everywhere you go if you try to use it without an account. That being said, we have notes as the primary thing here, and then you also have your schedule, where you can schedule your meetings. You can have the calendars, the memo, the daily report, and all these kinds of things. And it being an advertised thing, you should be able to easily integrate between documents, memos, events, and things like that into your notebooks. And everything should be coming back to your notebooks. And you can organize your notebooks via folders, so you can add your different folders by using this button and then organize everything there. And then when you go to a folder, your notes show here. So it's a very, very focused and centralized, notebook centralized type of user interface. And what I do like also with the user interface here is that it goes in the order of importance and priority, right? So most of the user interface in the home screen goes for the notebooks, then we get schedule and reading, and then at the very bottom we have tiny little icons for settings, more apps, and the email. And this is something that really, really makes sense for me, at least for a device like this. Now let's start with the reading aspect. So when we go to Reader here, I think it may have crashed. There we go. It was thinking a bit. So let's go to Reading. There we go. And now it goes to Reader. Importing data into this device, you can do it in several different ways, and you use this icon here. So you can import via Wi-Fi, USB, or cloud. Even if you arrange things into folders in your Documents folder, the bookshelf itself is not going to read the folders from there. So you will have to manually create folders, for example, test documents that I've created here. And then I went to the Office Center and I created 2 more folders for the documents for the DAF testing And also for my deep guide, I have the MDO and MMP for testing of these if they work. I would have preferred if we had an option to have just a folder style and bypass the bookshelf thing, because if your library is already organized in folder structure with subfolders, it would be really great that you can just kind of drag that in and automatically have it all here without having the need to manually sort through them and move them around. It's not the best, but it's not the worst method of getting your documents onto a device like this. So let's start with MDO 2026, which is a way to organize all of your organizing needs. And you can find it on mydeepguide.com/shop, and it's available already now. And you can use hyperlinks to navigate between different dates or months or weeks. And you can see that, this device is very, very quick, although it is having some issues here and there. See, the platform is not super stable. As you can see, sometimes, well, now it's actually okay, but sometimes it tends to kind of get a little bit confused here and there. Not with this document, but in general, like it had like that moment of thinking and then a black screen and then it turned into normal. Hopefully it's going to be more improved, but overall very, very quick interactions here throughout a massive document like this one. So that feels good. Let's see how it is to interact with. And so if I want to add notes, well, that's clearly enormous. So I'm gonna go here. And it has this kind of one button but two gestures. When the pen is higher than 1 centimeter from the screen and you keep holding it, then you start doing this, you're gonna enter the erasing function, right? So above 1 centimeter, then you start erasing. That works like that. If you are below 1 centimeter and you press, then you enter the selection tool, and then you can do your selecting things. Although again, it's getting to be a little bit kind of buggy. Let's try again. There we go. Very strange. I can add my notes directly. Writing feel is very nice and really, really precise. So I love the fact that I don't have to go between writing and navigating. So you can really go completely normally. Although, the palm rejection thing is not ideal because I am experiencing quite a bit of palm rejection issues. There we go. Touch. You can just disable touch. It's right there. You can just enable it and disable it. There we go. So that way you can go over that. Then you also have an option to go into notes, and then you can add directly notes that are associated with this document, book, or anything like that. The brightness and the rendering of blacks seems to be maybe the best that I've seen so far. I'm very, very interested to see the DAF results on this. The precision of rendering of this panel is really good. Like we have paper-like feel, and we have rendering of small and thin characters the way we do here. This is turning out to be fairly impressive. I want to open my standard document that I normally use, which is the user manual, and the navigation is really quick. The rendering of characters is so beautiful. This screen is rendering things in a really beautiful way. There's just something about this whole thing. And the stability though. The stability is, see? It's having some issues. It's not really quite happy. So hopefully updates are going to sort this thing out. Maybe what I'm reacting to here is the surface to screen distance, because this seems to be really like on the surface of the screen. And when you combine all of these things, the brightness, the contrast, the lightness, the thinness, the sharpness, the responsiveness, the quality of the rendering, because it's very, very nice. Like I really don't care if I would need faster than this. I really don't. So let's try and see the responsiveness. Page 37. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think it missed 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It missed 1. So yeah, definitely there's room for improvement on some responsiveness and precision in the software side of things. And yeah, I do have to have some double taps here and there. This is the reason why I test this document. I mean, it has very thin fonts, and if you take a look at here with the normal fonts, the bold fonts, the italic thin fonts and everything, it's just rendering out in such a lovely quality. I really have not expected this at all. Let's see how it handles a image-based document. Image effects, 256 grayscale. Yes, you do. And you just go there and we don't have dithering, or we have dithering, we don't have color banding. This is looking really good. So let's see problematic sections when we have those blocks. There we go. So that's the problematic section. Yeah, we do have some ghosting, and the user interface is not really fully aligned. I think that, yeah, this is the progress here that you can just kind of use like this, and it just works really, really good because I can just kind of navigate to the page that I would like. And let's say maybe I want to go to, well, that looked really pretty, so let's go here. And then you go there and it just works. Yeah, it's quite cool to have, yeah, things like this because it interacts in a really, really nice way. Look at this. Look how close to the surface the content is. This, yeah, this feels really, really good. In the notebooks, you can create a new notebook by tapping on a new note. The important part here is that you can use custom templates. So in this case, I also transferred custom templates from mydeepguide.com/shop, the collection of custom curated templates, which are all pixel perfect, physical distances of 8 millimeters and for the lines and 4 millimeter for grids. And yeah, it sees them all here, and then you can just kind of select the ones that you want. This is using one of my templates here, and I can see that the rendering of pixels is absolutely spot on because these are pixel perfect templates, and if a tablet or the system is doing some not correct scaling or anything like that, this will expose it. But nope, this is working really, really well, and I love the contrast. Again, the whiteness and the darkness just makes things look so good, and again, that thinness, very impressive. Pressure sensitivity seems to be okay, but let's test with the brush. It's okay, but you can see like we can lose, yeah, at the lowest levels it still is not that responsive. Let's see if that's down to the pen or down to the brush. Nope, it's down to the brush calibration itself. So even if you use a higher kind of quality brush or pen, the sensitivity simply has a cutoff point, and the low threshold for pressure sensitivity is a little bit too aggressive. It acts like a gate. It doesn't really fade it out. Writing precision is excellent. Writing feel is excellent. Writing speed and latency is excellent. I haven't measured it yet. I'm just reporting you the feel and what I'm noticing here, but it's really, really fast and responsive. We do have a pencil brush that I haven't tested, so let's see, it seems to be that it is tilt. Let's see. Seems to be tilt responsive, but it's not on the level of Kindle and Remarkable, that's for sure. However, the normal, regular writing, the ink pen, the fine liner, the ballpoint, and even the fountain pen, they all work very, very nicely, and they capture, to a large extent, they capture the characteristics of your handwriting in a good and precise way. And this being an AI note, it extends far beyond just standard note-taking and things like that. It's attempting to be smart, and unfortunately that's where that account comes into play, because it has an AI agent that goes along with this thing, and then you can summarize your notes, meeting minutes, OCR and format, text creation, so you can do all of these kinds of things. You can record audio, and as you are recording audio, then you can record your meeting minutes or something like that. As you can see, currently we are doing all of that, and when I'm done, I can click stop. Then I can say like, hey, insert this into Note. It automatically flips to the next page, and it inserts it in the form of a text box. It also has an option with the audio that when you're recording it, it will just telling you where you are in the recording itself. And there's additional options as well, where it can track what you were writing in your notebook at the time of recording. That is kind of highlighted in section here. And then you can just kind of use the progress here to navigate through the section here. And I haven't tested that fully, but I think that what it's supposed to be able to do is that it should also get you to the point in the notebook where your handwriting notes are in association with this section here. So potentially it has quite powerful features here, real world usability, powerful features, and more, because you can, link to your schedule, link to all of these kinds of things. But that remains for me to explore further and to understand even more what this thing can do. And for that, I have to go through the user manual. I have to start using this on my own, and then I have to be able to kind of test it out and bring it to you. So that's going to take some time. Unlike other AI gimmicky things, this device is supposed to also be able to have the AI agent aware of the device, meaning that you can add a new open up a note, add a minute meeting or a scheduled thing, and things like that. So those are the things that I would like to explore and see how it works. And also it is Bluetooth compatible, and even though it doesn't have speakers per se, but if you do hook it up to a Bluetooth speaker, let's say in a conference room or something like that, then it can play back the recorded audio and all of that kind of stuff. So actually really, really a lot of potential and possibilities with this device. And when you put into context excellent build quality and just the way it feels with the weight, sub 300 grams, 10.3 inch, 300 ppi device that's at 4.25 millimeters thickness, has anti-skid pads, has what seems to be one of the brightest and nicest rendering screens that I've seen so far. The only point of concern that I have for this is the integration of the iFlytek user account and the dependency on that user account. It would be absolutely fantastic if at some point they would kind of go like, hey, here you go and deploy your own cloud in private meetings, and then this would be a corporate killer. because then the IT departments would actually be able to allow this to be used. But as it is now, it would be completely a no-go for any organization to give a green light for something like this, because it's entirely and completely dependent on passing all of your data constantly through a third-party cloud, which is an automatic red light and a no-go for any serious IT environment. It's a conflicting first look, because on one hand, this is already now like an almost absolute no-brainer of a device, because it is incredibly impressive just as far as first look goes. Its functionalities are really, really focused for work-related tasks, and it seems to be able to actually do these things really, really well. But the problem is, you won't be allowed to use it in any kind of serious environment. Conflicting one, isn't it? iFlytek AINote 2. That is quite a bit of a surprise to me, because as I mentioned in the intro, for me at least, it came out of left field, out of nowhere. There was no huge pomp or circumstance around it. It just kind of popped onto the market at the end of the year 2025. So Books has done its thing, Remarkable has done their thing, and we're done. Yeah, well, no, not really, because this thing is a buttload of surprises. So the thing that I still can't get over is basically 4.2-ish millimeters, sub 300 grams for a 10.65-inch device. That in itself is a huge impression on a day-to-day basis when you're just using the device and just interacting with it, be it as an e-reader, as an e-note taker, it doesn't matter. It just makes it feel very, very different, and it's a very pleasant experience. Is it derivative of AIPaper's design? No, it's not derivative. It's exactly the same. It just has some tiny marginal differences, but other than that, it's exactly the same device, but better, because it's lighter and it's thinner and has much more noticeably better build quality. Because, for example, one of the things that I really, really didn't like about AIPaper was just simply how rough it was around the edges of the USB-C. You could cut yourself. It was super thin. It was just really not refined at all. And when I reached out to AIPaper back then, they said like, well, it's just too thin, you know, and we can't really make it better. Really? This one's thinner, and they made it way, way better. So while the outside does, you know, look like AIPaper, this feels like a much better put together device. It has the addition of anti-slip pads and basically attention to all of the details that you could have. I honestly don't know if you can get much thinner than this if you're going to continue using the USB-C port and the traditional type of, you know, power and fingerprint reader buttons and accessories of this type. So in itself, this represents basically the pinnacle of design currently that we can find on the e-paper market. And furthermore, if you compare it to other tablets, iPads, Android tablets, traditional OLED or LCDs, after handling this, those feel like gigantic rhinoceroses after you've had a pleasant experience of basically interacting with something like this. Then you couple with amazing brightness of the screen, vivid contrast of the screen, really good image quality at 300 ppi, really good writing feel. The pen, while not excellent, but it's a standard EMR pen, so you can use any pen that you actually like, and the magnetic holds correctly. It doesn't have stupid buttons here to interfere with normal operations. The writing speed is really fast. The interactivity of the device is really fast. Battery wasn't draining like crazy. It wasn't overheating. When I slide my fingers at the back of the device, I don't feel the usual bumpiness that you can actually feel at a lot of devices of this type when you actually go through the screen or at the back of the device. Especially when they're this thin, you can feel the electronics where they've been kind of placed. Here, not at all actually. every aspect that I look at this device from, it keeps surprising me. However, there is one major caveat as far as I'm concerned, and that is, in the name itself. The AINote ChatGPT 5 enabled device, and by default, it requires use of an account, and all of your data and everything that you do has to pass through external servers. Can you use it without that? Yes, in a guest mode, but you are going to lose or miss out on the majority of functionalities, and we're talking even some basic functionalities, which I'll cover in the in-depth review when we come to that. If you want to have any semblance of privacy when using this device. So my first impression is that this is easily the most impressive device that has come out this year as far as ePaper devices go. For anyone that has handled it, they will probably have the same feeling. But that reflects on the capabilities. So the hardware, the manufacturing, the performance, the screen, all of that. Now, how that excellence is actually utilized and delivered to the user. Unfortunately, that excellence is locked behind a mandatory user account and mandatory privacy concerns that I believe are very, very objective. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about this device? Have you had the opportunity to test it out, to check it out, to use it? Did you buy it? Do you use it? Also, I would like to hear from you guys as well, your opinion and your thoughts on when you're presented with something that, without a question, is offering various levels of excellence and top tier levels that we have currently. Because hardware-wise, this absolutely freaking does that. But how much are you willing to sacrifice in order to enjoy using this kind of a top tier thing? That's what I'm interested to hear from you as well. And where would you draw the line? Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video. Bye!